As part of the second phase of Russia's nuclear drills, Russian forces conducted training focused on covert deployment to designated positional areas. According to sources, the Russian military also performed electronic missile launches against simulated targets. Meanwhile, across the borders, NATO defense ministers gathered in Brussels to agree on a new plan to provide long-term security assistance and military aid to Ukraine. The anti-Ukrainian NATO member Hungary has just recently promised not to veto the scheme for assistance after the bloc allowed it to refrain from sending military help to Ukraine. This is a positive development for the bloc, which has recently been unable to decide how to help Ukraine.
When I met Prime Minister Orban yesterday, we agreed that Ukraine will not be part of this effort. They will not send Ukrainian personnel to the NATO effort to provide more security assistance and training. They will not be part of the financial pledge. But at the same time, Hungary made it clear that they will not block other allies from moving forward to agree the plan and to agree a financial pledge. And Hungary will also, of course, meet all its other NATO obligations, including by their contributions to NATO's common funding.
The ministers are meeting over 2 days at NATO headquarters in Brussels for the last high-level talks before a summit of US President Joe Biden and his counterparts in Washington on July 9th to 11, where the leaders are expected to announce financial support for Ukraine. Stoltenberg, who is chairing Thursday's meeting, said that Ukraine's beleaguered armed forces need long-term predictability.
What we are doing now is that we are agreeing a NATO plan for security assistance and training for Ukraine to ensure a more robust framework, to ensure more predictability, and combined with a financial pledge. The whole idea is to minimize the risk for gaps and delays, as we saw earlier this year. Because the gaps and delays in both the provision of military support from the United States but also from several European allies made a difference on the battlefield.
Stoltenberg, yet again, defended Ukraine's right to strike targets inside Russia with West-donated weaponry, even after countless warnings by Russian President Vladimir Putin, saying self-defense is not escalation.
Ukraine has the right for self-defense, and the right of self-defense includes also striking legitimate military targets on the territory of the aggressor, Russia. If they were not able to do so, then we would actually ask them to try to defend themselves, uphold the right of self-defense with one hand tied on their back. Self-defense is not escalation. Self-defense is a right enshrined in the UN Charter, and we have the right to help Ukraine uphold the right, and by doing that, NATO allies don't become party to the conflict.
Now, when the bloc has reached a compromise with Hungary, all eyes are set on what NATO agrees upon. Russia has also battered Ukraine as the military aid was delayed by several months to reach the war-torn country.